So let's talk about this understanding that you got from them, how you personify it. You have a video out on YouTube right now, S.I.N. Now, when people first see that, they be like, Sin, oh boy, here we go. But if you look at the title, S.I.N. stands for Surviving in Newark, and you talk about your life. It's a very Rakim-ish, the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Because Rakim come in, you know, planet Earth, and you know, he tells the sperm eating the egg and then his birth, and you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you start with your birthday. Mm-hmm. You start with how this is where I come from and this is how I got introduced to the world. How did that song come about and why did you want to make it?
Well, I always had, you know, what I like to call this mission in my head, you know, to be one of the driving forces to actually help put Newark back on the map. See what I'm saying? And I wanted to expose, you know, Newark, period. You know what I mean? And how that came about is one time I was on the job, you know, I was thinking, you know, I was to myself and I was just like, hey, yo, somebody gotta talk about this. Somebody gotta talk about what it's like to, you know, actually survive in a place like Newark and the type of environment, you know, that Newark has, you know what I mean? We'll talk about surviving the 67 riots. Yeah, I may be 25, but I know about that, so yeah. So surviving the 67 riots, then the crack epidemic, Clinton with his 3 strikes laws and things like that. And a lot of that played a role into the dysfunctionality that my generation unfortunately suffers. You see what I'm saying? Yet for those who have that in them, like, damn, like, I want to make a change in this world, yet, you know, I still have to survive this environment. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to talk about that, like surviving the environment while I'm trying to uplift the environment, so to speak. You see what I'm saying? I wanted to talk about that. So, you know, I was like, all right, my next song is going to be called S.I.N. And then I asked myself, what is that going to mean? And it just clicked, surviving in Newark. And I thought that concept was going to be dope. So I went to my producer, Double O's house. Oh man, I like this part of the story. So I was sitting in the studio, you know, he was going through beats, things like that. As soon as that beat came on, I was like, what's that? He didn't want to give it up at first. I was like, I'll give it.
That's the beat that spoke to you the most.
Like, now mind you, like I said, like, you know, I was just laying back, chilling, you know. Just like, alright, next. Dun, dun, what's that? Give me that.
You know what's deep? Double O produced the song?
Yeah.
Now you know what's deep? When good MCs or masterful poets meld, their energy produces on a whole nother level. Double O, I said my personal hip hop story. Double O is the best guest 16 in hip hop history to me. That Close Your Doors, he destroyed that song to the point where I was just like, the funniest part was like, well, let me put your bitch ass in the headlock and fall with you. When I heard that, it was the best line I ever heard in my life for me, right? So coming back to him being the producer, his voice and your voice is different. So I don't know who that beat was made for, but the way your voice connected on that and his style translates to how you make beats is very interesting, because your flow, like I said, is direct, fluent, and pronounced, while his is rough, attack oriented, and impactful. So the smooth flow and the attack flow both works on those things, but what makes the song very interesting is you do more speaking than rapping. Why is it important to speak on a track at times rather than make sure the bars hit rhythm at times?
Well, that song and that concept was meant to, you know, speak. Like, it wasn't meant to, you know, spit bar after bar after bar and things like that. You know what I mean? So I would say, like, you have to be mindful of the type of song that you're doing, and you have to actually listen to the beat. You know what I mean? Like, if the beat is just smooth and things like that, on some storytelling type stuff, you don't spit no I'm like, nah, you don't go like that. I mean, you can sprinkle a little bit in it. You know what I'm saying? Like I did on the third verse of the song. I said, year 24, trying to live 20 more, 24 plus the 20 equal up to 44. Yeah. That was my way of sprinkling that up in there. But
yeah, you show style, and you show something that most people don't have, and that's song progression. Because when you listen to a song, most times the first verse is the hardest verse.
Yeah.
Then the second verse is cool, and then the third verse is a drop off. You ever notice that? That's the pattern of most songs. In your song, it was the intro, the story, then the skill set. And that's what makes the song stand different. You have a unique pattern, well, you in that song. I haven't heard more of your music, but in that song, you have a unique pattern of song construction, where other people make tracks to just sound dope.
Yeah.
What's the difference with you? How do you see it?
Well, for me, sounding dope, that's important. Like, don't get it messed up. Yet, in the same token, you got to make sure, what you're saying, it actually makes sense, not only with the beat, but yet the format, itself. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be like the right format for each particular song, especially if your intention is to either, tell a story or, you just want to show how dope you is as an MC. Yet, still in all, production does matter.
Of course, because if a beat doesn't grab you, most people won't listen. And that's a downfall to people. You got a lot of people, like even with Nas, they say Nas is the worst beat picker.
Yeah, Vlad said
Vlad
that shit.
says it all the time. And keeping it real, you got people, Razcast said it. Razcast said on his first album, Soul on Ice, he said, I don't give a fuck about a beat. I'm a lyricist. I can rap to anything. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand that presentation is just as important as production.
Yeah. That
to produce, you have to make sure that it's correct. So back to your presentation. You present yourself as a well-thought and mannered young man, and that is the equivalent to mass destruction. You're a weapon, an enemy of the state. The weapon of mass destruction to America is an intelligent young black male. Oh, so-called black male, because I don't believe black like that, but so-called black male. And being intelligent, well-informed, and able to spit makes you highly dangerous. How much of a badge of honor is that to you?
Well, asked me this a couple years ago. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. That asked me now, especially in this present moment, I would say it is an honor and a high responsibility as well. Because a lot of the times, a lot of the people don't really take on this role because they're afraid of the consequences, which is, death. Now, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not trying to clock out anytime soon, and it's not going to be that simple. Yet, I will say, it's becoming more and more appreciated every day.
You know what's deep? I want you to take off your glasses for a second, because people have to see your eyes on this one. This is very, very important. I want people to see your face. Plus that the sun shifted. The glare came in kind of hard. But I want them to see your face when I ask you this question. J. Edgar Hoover stated that the most dangerous thing to America is the unifying of the Negro race. And that the black messiah has to be chopped down at any times, no matter what, by any means necessary. So Tupac was murdered, right? COINTELPRO wanted to get KRS-One and Chuck D. And even today, we had the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan being banned on social media. So when you talk about being coherent and having the responsibility to telling the truth, why is it important in the purpose of an MC, an orator, a poet, a performer, an entertainer to know that the responsibility of your entertainment is more than just teaching people the consequences, but you should also teach life and lessons in the music? Why is that important?
a lot of the times when you're teaching the people just the consequences of their acts or any unrighteous acts, period, they get turned off very easily, scared, because they really don't want to face, the consequences of that type of behavior. Yet, if you're balancing that out with the benefits of, doing right, raising your children right, being a better example for those that's under you, and now, having a respectful relationship with those who came before you, that's a good balance right there. It makes people, at least from my opinion, think, well, yeah, it's going to be tough, doing what's right, standing upright, standing on my square. Yeah, in the same token, it's bigger than me. It's for the collective. Now, of course, I know with this path that I'm taking, along the line, there's going to be more obstacles ahead of me. And a lot of the times, the opposition will try to use the very things that you overcame or your very weaknesses against you. Yet, it's always important to keep going forward, regardless of the consequences.
It's very unfair that Farrakhan is being attacked and found dangerous. Alex Jones, I can understand, because Alex Jones said in the presidential race, Hillary Clinton had sexual orgies with people in pools, and they were raping black children in blood. That's why you must vote for Trump. That's propaganda. Farrakhan he got marked a couple times, and one of the main markings was that he talked about how America was a corrupt government, and corruption is what the world thrives off of. And Mike Wallace talked about an African country being corrupt for 35 years, most corrupt country, but Farrakhan checked him and said, no, America is the most corrupt country, and how dare you talk about the people who bombed people and do race experiments and things as righteous, and we condemn other people, when as a young nation we should help the African country, but our nation is bred on corruption. Hip-hop is coming corrupted because hip-hop is embracing American culture, yet hip-hop is based on capitalism, which is Reaganomics, American culture. So from Western philosophy versus Eastern spirituality, responsibility is very Eastern. Why is it important to embrace your spirit as well as be an MC?
It's important to have all those things aligned, because when you're facing that type of opposition, and trust me, this opposition is very powerful, and it's taken out a lot of our leaders. In fact, I started to get into that with this album that I'm working on coming out called The Dark Room.
Okay, that's an interesting concept.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Yeah, when you have those things aligned within yourself, it makes your battle, your war, easier, just a tad bit easier for you to go on. Because trust me, in a world that's designed to destroy you, you can't afford to be crazy. And I'm quoting Supreme Understanding, by the way.
My man.
So, get those things aligned, because if you're going the same path that not just me, but any open mind or conscious mind, whatever you want to call it, any person of this said ability, trust me, you're gonna need it, because they're coming after you. The minute your audience opens up, target's on your head.